Welcome to Hard Knocks Coding. My name's Brandon, and in today's video, we're going to be setting up an Asp.NetCore minimal authentication server. So let's start with the simple question. What is authentication? Well, Microsoft defines authentication as the process of determining a user's identity, not to be confused with authorization, the process of determining what a user can do. So to get authorization, you must first have authentication. So under that definition, all we need to do today is set up a system for logging a user in and determining who they are across multiple sessions or multiple API calls. The tools we'll be using in this video are Visual Studio's 2022, .NET 6, and Postman. So let's jump in. We'll create a new Visual Studio's 2022 project. This will be an Asp.NetCore empty project. I'll call mine API. Okay, once that's done, I'll take a look at the program.cs file. I'll move this stuff out of the way so we can see we got a builder, we create an app, we create a path, the hello world on the root, and we run it. I'll go ahead and debug this, make sure everything's working. I want to take this localhost address up here because I'm going to be needing it in Postman. Okay, we'll take this and we're going to set up a new call in Postman to that URL, and I'll keep that for later. We need to create some structures, so we'll do public struct user, and let's just say for now users only contain usernames. We'll also want a struct for session, and session should have is authenticated as a boolean, and should have a user. Now that that's done, we'll need to create a login method. So we'll do app.map_post. We'll do API auth login as the URL, and for parameters we'll take a dictionary of strings and strings for the parameters. And this is just to bypass having to create a model for now. And up top, we're gonna do a dictionary of string and user for sessions. This will be a memory. Each time the application closes, you'll have to re-log in. This can be easily fixed with something like Entity Framework or some other way to store data. Okay, so sessions.add, we'll go ahead and add the token and a new user with the username admin. We'll take this and add a try catch to the top. This is just going to be kind of a dirty way of solving any problems, so we don't have to type out a lot of code to catch every individual problem. Let's just say if there is any problem though, we're just going to return is authenticated false, and token will be equal to an empty string. These are dynamic objects. In here, we're going to check that parameters username. Let's do lowercase. I think it'll come in that way. Username is equal to admin, and parse password will be equal to 1234. Then we'll go ahead and run that code. Let's jump into Postman and try it out. So that'll be /API/auth/login, and that'll be a post with a body that is raw JSON. Username admin, password 4321. We'll go ahead and post that, and not authenticated. Okay, we'll want to make sure that this returns a new dynamic. I'll just take this one here and put token as the return and authenticated as true. Okay, now we can restart this and test it in Postman. So we have this token, but we don't really know what this correlates to. We do have that session object, so we can use that to find it out. The Postman request, set it to a get, and have no body. We'll put token as the parameter with our token. And we'll create a new function in here called app.mapGet. This will be API/auth/session. And we'll want in here HTTP HTTP context. We'll point that to a new function. And we'll basically take the same structure of here, except worst case, we are going to return a new session with is authenticated as false. And inside here, we're going to do var token is going to be context.headers or .request.headers token .first or default. And that should be a nullable string. So we actually want that as first. And if there's an error, it'll just not be authenticated. Then we'll want to return a new session is authenticated as true and user being sessions token. Again, any error will just not be authenticated. So now when we log in, let's also make sure that this function is okay. Auth/session, we run it, we get an unauthenticated user because we're on memory. We're running users and sessions on memory, so we'll just log in again and put this here. Now we are authenticated with the admin user. We've pretty much done authentication. We can make it a little bit better. We can take this get function here and extract that to a local function called get session. We could also clone this map get, setting it to the root, and doing var session is equal to this. We always know that this does return. So if session.is authenticated is false, we're going to return hello anon. Else will return hello and then session.user.username. So now when we go to the let's make sure that this one's also gone. Now when we go to the root of the site, we should get hello. Make sure these are two equal signs. So we'll get hello anon. Now when we go back to Postman, let's go ahead and duplicate this again and use this on the root. With that header, get hello anon because again, our memory cache has been purged. This time we'll do it with the token and we get hello admin. So this is a basic authentication setup. It is not the best by any means, but it does get the point across on how it does work. There are built-in systems inside of Asp.NET MVC that handle authentication a little bit more elegantly with controllers, and in the future we'll be going about how to migrate to a solution like that. Our next video will be about authorization, so we'll be determining what this user has access to, and then we'll look at adding some more complexity to our API. If you like this video, please consider joining our one-on-one mentorship program where we take someone from no skills to full stack developer in 6 months. Information about that will be in the video description. Thank you all for tuning in, and bye-bye. Something you could do to test your understanding of this system would be to create multiple logins and protect multiple endpoints against anonymous access. I highly suggest that you do this on your own, pausing the video now. We will be going over it in just a few moments. Okay, so first off, let's add multiple users. So what we have here is a very crude way of logging a user in. So we'll go ahead and add password to the user so that we can store that data. We'll create a list of users. We'll go ahead and populate that. This time we'll have admin, username is equal to admin, password is equal to 1234. We'll also add in normie with the same password. And inside of our login function, we'll just check if any username is equal to parse username. Actually, let's change that up. We're going to do var user is equal to that, but this is going to be a first or default. So we just check if user is not null, then we'll create a token for them here. Oh, user is not equal to null. This will be a nullable user. Oh, I see, these are structs. We'll change this one over to a class so that it can be nullable. And we'll also check that user.password equals parse.password, or parse password. We'll go ahead and test that login now. So let's try to log in with Carl. We don't get authenticated. Admin, we do get authenticated. And normie, we also get authenticated. So let's use normie from now on. We can check that session information here. Perfect. Oh, I see another problem. So now we'll need to make this integrate with the session storage. So sessions.add, and we'll want to make sure that we use the user here when we set the session data. So log in again, get the token, paste that into sessions. There we are, there's our guy. If we go to the root site and log in with our bad credential, and then switch to normie, we do get hello normie. Okay, now to test our other API endpoint, we'll just call this /home. And in this case, what I actually want to do is we'll pretend that this is a secure page. So normal users just get an empty JSON object. We'll just return them a new object like so. Let's do dictionaries. New dictionary string object. And when there is a user, let's give them a little bit more information, maybe about their session. So session like that. Session like so. Okay, so when we come to this page, we'll do /home and we get an empty object. When we log in as a user like normie, we now get the session information. And since it's a dictionary, it didn't change our case here, so we'll want to keep that in mind when we're transmitting data, such as a dictionary, because it'll stick out. Close this. Okay, our tokens expire when we restart the application. And there we go. So this is basic authentication.